Buenos dias, muchachos and muchachas. Welcome to Guillermo's Cocina. I come highly recommended by mi amigo, mi primo, Christian Benjamin. But I was advised to give this entire cooking lesson in fluent English. Mucho trabajo, mucho. But I will try my best. Let's go! Hoy día. Lo siento. Today we will be making Nacho Grande, but more importantly, we're going to learn a few keys to elevate this dish. First, let's start with our fresh produce. Okay, so let's start with our fresh produce. First, we have our avocado. When you pick it out at the supermarket, you want to make sure that it has a little bit of softness to it. If it's too hard, it's definitely not going to be ripe enough if you're going to be using it today, ahora. So you want to make sure that it's nice and soft, not too spongy, but a good softness to it. You also want to make sure that you wash this fruit before you actually use it. Remember, the skin has all of the germs that it had in transport, so before you use it, you want to wash it off. Next, we have our onion. You want to smell the onion, get the scent of the onion. As you see, there's no green here because it's ripe, it's ready to be used. So when you're picking your vegetables out in the grocery, give it a smell. Make sure it has that scent, that nice fresh scent. Same thing with your pepper. As you see, this one is a little bit close because it has the green on it, but you give it a good smell, it has that strong pepper scent. So this is what you want to do. This produce is good to go for a Nacho Grande ahora, today. So let's start chopping. Okay, so let's start out with our avocado. You're not going to use all of it unless you really, really love avocado. I like it, but not too much. Gives it a nice flavor. So I'm going to take about a fifth of this avocado, and maybe a fourth. All right. Nice and green. There you go. Cut it into halves. Then you want nice bite sizes because we're going to get this in every bite. That's the beauty about a Nacho Grande. You want all that potent flavor in each bite. There you go. That's your avocado. Now if we need some more, we'll keep this right here just in case. Now let's go to our onion. Now you don't need too much onion because you're already going to have a little bit of salsa, all right? So you don't need too much onion, but when you get a little taste of it, it does taste good on that bite. Well, I got a dull knife here. Let's go this way. There you go. This is about as much as you're going to need. Right there. Now let's get this second layer of skin off. There we go. Now let's dice this up real nice. There we go. Now, if you have a sharp knife, you won't get a lot of the onion juice in the air. The onion's oils, and that's what gets in your eyes. That's what burns it. So thank goodness this is a sweet onion, because if it was a white onion or if it's had a little more acidity with this dull knife, it definitely would have gotten up into the air and my eyes would be burning right now. So make sure your knives are nice and sharp and you won't have as much onion juice in the air floating around to get into your eyes. So, pepper. Now, obviously, this is all to taste. If you like more onion, if you like more avocado, you can add that. Okay. It's easier to cut on the flesh side of the whatever vegetable you're using, because obviously the knife can slip around on the skin side. So, right here. I know my sister's looking at this, laughing at my knife skills. They have definitely deteriorated. But we'll do it. We'll do as best we can. Make sure you don't cut yourself. Keep your place with your thumb. Please be conscious. Okay. So this is going to be my pepper. Okay. I'm pretty sure nobody needs time to catch up. I'm going pretty slow with these knife technique here. Technique? I wouldn't even call it technique. But you get the drift. Alright, so we have our avocado, our onion, and our pepper. So slide these off to the side. The next thing we want to do, we want to rinse our beans. Okay? Now I have some already. I'm going to bring those out. I've already had them rinsed and prepped. So the only thing you really want to do is take them out, put them into a strainer or a bowl, give it a quick swish, and then pick the beans out, let them dry off for a second, all right? Okay, muchachos, muchachas. So while we were going on that brief break, I added one more slice of avocado. We got our peppers chopped, and we have our onions chopped. We have our frijoles, they're rinsed. Our beans, they're rinsed and ready to go. What we have to do now, chop up our spinach. I like to bunch it up. So you want to go vertical, and you want to get a little cross chop on it too. There we go. We have our spinach ready to go. And of course, you need your queso. Loads and loads of cheese. Now, I told you I was going to give you a key, right? Here's one of the keys. When you use cheese off of the block, it is much more moist, melts much better than shredded cheese, which is in a bag. Because the shredded cheese that's in the bag has what you call cellulose. It's something very, very fine that they put on the cheese, which prevents it from going bad and sticking within the bag. But it also prevents it from giving you a nice melt whenever you use it on a Nacho Grande or anything that you have to melt it on. You'll see you're not going to get that same spread, and it's not going to melt as easy because that cellulose prevents it. It actually kind of dries it out just a little bit. So I prefer to use cheese off the block because it's going to be much more moist honestly speaking, it seems to have a lot more flavor than cheese in a bag that's already shredded. I mean, I'll use it if I gotta go fast, but right now we're learning how to do it the right way. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's about enough. That's about a fourth. Okay, we put that there. Now here's another key to really good Nacho Grande. You have our cheddar. Sometimes you want a little bit of mozzarella cheese. I freeze mine because I like it to stay cold, and it's very hard to shred a block of mozzarella. So if you have it frozen and you have a good shredder, you can shred it much easier and you don't have to worry about the mess and it sticking into the grate of the shredder. Un momento. As you can see, because this was shredded already, it just breaks off, which is not a problem at all, actually. But the shredder just makes it break off, and all of the cheese is going to be used. Okay. Now I did get it a little bit too close to my onion. I like to keep everything separate. So let's do that. Okay. Now, we're just about finished, okay? Check this out. We're going to put our tortillas on our baking tray. Here is where the magic happens, all right? So, let's get equal spread on the pan so you don't have a mound in the middle. Let's spread it out nicely. Okay? Now you want to take everything that's moist. You want to take your peppers, spread it around. At this point, you could preheat your oven if you want to about 400. So that's preheating to 400. Really doesn't have to get there, but you know, just preheat it to 400. Okay, so we have all of that. Now let's get our avocado pieces. Honestly, this is a little bit more avocado than I'm normally used to. And make sure you get this nice and equally spread. Okay, now you take your onion, so spread nice and even. Okay, so now I told you I was going to give you a key, right? Well, here's our next key. You want to now put this in the oven for about 5 minutes. Now, I'm going to use my toaster oven for the interest of time. And I'm going to put that in the toaster oven, same degrees, 400, but it's going to heat up a lot quicker because it's a smaller oven. What I'm looking for is I want to see the oils inside of the tortilla start to glisten a little bit. Once those oils glisten, that's when I'm going to take this tray back out. The reason why we do that is because when you add a little crisp to it, next we're going to add our salsa, and when we put our salsa on top, the nacho won't get soggy. That's a key. You heard it here first. Where? Guillermo's Cocina. We're going to make our tortillas nice and crispy, only to when you see the oils glisten. You don't want to burn them, because that can happen. I'm sorry. Started speaking Spanish. That can happen very fast, rapida. So you want, I'm going to say it again for you. Put it in the oven till you see the tortilla itself start to glisten. Then you take it out. So that should be around 5 minutos. See? One thing I forgot, the frijoles. You cannot forget the beans. Now another good thing that putting this in the oven will do is a lot of these ingredients, as you know, are fresh and they hold a lot of water. So when you put it in there, some of it's going to evaporate, which is a good thing. So everything isn't soggy. Sometimes, I don't know if you ever gotten a Nacho Grande, there's a little bit of water at the bottom. That normally comes from the vegetables that are used. So what we want to do is take some of that water out. So we'll throw it in the oven for about 5 minutes. Evaporate some of the moisture from the fresh ingredients, and also make sure the tortillas get nice and crispy. Okay, so while we have our tortillas in the oven getting nice and crisp, remember it should only take about 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes depending on the temperature of your oven. We're going to add our salsa. Now I particularly like mine a little warm because I don't like anything to cool off my Nacho Grande. So that's about enough. You don't want to saturate it. So I'm going to take this, throw it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. And that should be enough just to keep it warm. I like cold salsa for dipping, but if it's going to be on my Nacho Grande, I need that to be caliente. Alright, so that's our Tostitos. I love this salsa, by the way. So this is what we're going to throw in the microwave. So since we do have un momento, I wanted to give a little bit of history real quick. As we know, Cinco de Mayo has definitely turned into a American holiday more than it was actually a Mexican holiday. Actually, Cinco de Mayo in Mexico is more of a celebration of a battle that happened in France And I believe the name was the Battle of Puebla, and that was on May 5th in 1862. It was the French-American War, otherwise known as the Franco-American War. And so that was actually May 5th. And, you know, America, we got a hold of it, and we just want to use it to celebrate Mexican history, which is great, Mexican culture and heritage, which is great. And, you know, so just enjoy the day, understand what it's about. And let's get back to our Nacho Grande here at Guillermo's Cocina. 30 seconds in the microwave if you like yours a little bit warm. Salsa is always better a little bit warm. Okay, everyone. It's been about 4 or 5 minutes. You should have this great aroma in the air, your onions, your peppers, everything evaporating. It smells really good in your kitchen right now, as it does in mine, in Guillermo's Cocina. Now, what I want you to do is, we're going to take the spinach, espinache. We're going to take it, we're going to sprinkle it over the top, all right? This is not just a garnish. What we're doing is we're creating a small barrier for the salsa that's going to go on top. Again, this is making sure that each bite of the Nacho Grande stays crunchy. So you have the spinach on top, which is going to be a small barrier. And now we're going to take our cheese, a little mozzarella first. There we go. Now keep your ovens on, because we're going to throw this back in for the final melt. All right? One little minor detail, it's up to you if you want to put your cheese under or above the spinach, because sometimes if the cheese is connected to the spinach and you pick up your nacho, if the spinach falls off, the cheese can too. So if you want your adherence to be the cheese on the nacho, then put the cheese down first and then add the spinach. Me, I want to keep my nacho, I want to keep the integrity of that crunch. I'm going to keep the spinach first, then the cheese, and then the salsa on top, okay? So here we go. One last little hint, one little detail. Take a tiny bit of Mexican spice, throw it over the top. Just a little bit. And the reason why you want to do this now, because when you throw this in the oven and the heat gets a hold of it, it's really going to pop. So you only need a little bit. So that's going to sit in there for about, I would say, a minute, maybe a minute and a half. So what we want to do is clean up our area. Okay, here's the salsa. It's ready. And we have our juice, whatever beverage you're going to drink. Have that ready. Once we take it out, we're going to apply the salsa on top. And we're going to be ready to go to enjoy our Nacho Grande. Look at that. Look at that. That's perfect. Crisp on the nacho. The queso is nice and melted. We're going to take a little bit of our salsa. You don't want to overpower it. You have a lot of other good flavors here. Fresh produce that you want to taste, so you don't want to put too much salsa on here. You don't want to leave any spots. Okay? So, here you have it. Nacho Grande in Guillermo's Cocina. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next year. Maybe we'll do something else. But for now, I hope you enjoy this great delight that I take pride in. And enjoy your Cinco de Mayo.